Hey guys, Cal here, and today I am standing here with the 2024 Chevy Blazer Midnight Edition, and we're coming up on the Chevy Blazer being almost about 5 years old now, at least this iteration anyway. I started seeing this thing in the showrooms back in about January of 2019, local to me, so we already pretty much know what the Blazer looks like. We've seen it out on the roads a lot, but today let's go over what the Midnight Edition looks like and what makes it special. Okay guys, starting on the front end of the Chevy Blazer, we'll take a look at your headlamps down below. Those are your LED headlamps. Of course, they are still where they have always been, down on the bottom, and then right above that you do have your LED daytime running lamps as well as your LED turn signals. And then on the Midnight Edition, you do have a blacked out grille bar, whereas on an LT or something like that, this would just be chrome. So on the Midnight Edition, you do have some gloss black paint on that. And then you do have your blacked out Chevy bow tie on the front end as well. And then in the middle here, your grille just has that new updated design for that Blazer mid-cycle refresh. And next up on the wheels of the Blazer here on the Midnight Edition, you'll see these are the 18-inch gloss black painted aluminum wheels, and these are wrapped in the Continental Cross Contact tires, and those are a 235/65/18 tire size on all four. All right guys, and taking a look under the hood of the Blazer here, you'll see the 3.6 liter V6 that we've seen in a few other applications. We've seen this in the Chevy Colorado, we've seen it in the Chevy Traverse, so we've seen this motor around in Chevy's lineup. It puts out 308 horsepower and 270 pound-foot of torque. Now for this 2024 model year and the Blazer mid-cycle refresh in general, the engine options we have right now is of course this 3.6 liter V6, and there is also a 2 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and that 2 liter 4-cylinder puts out 228 horsepower. Lastly, as for fuel economy on the V6 here, we're looking at about 18 miles to the gallon in the city. We're looking at about 26 miles to the gallon on the highway and 21 miles to the gallon combined. And moving down the side of your Blazer, you will see the side mirrors are a gloss black paint. That's because this is the Midnight Edition. So no matter what color you get your Blazer in, if you get the Midnight Edition, those are going to be blacked out. You'll see on the outside, you do have your LED turn signal indicator. And then right below that, we have the Blazer nameplate, but instead of being chrome, it is blacked out because again, this is the Midnight Edition. And then on all four door handles, you'll see that you do have the passive entry buttons, so that makes life very convenient. Instead of just being on the front two, you got it on all four. Up top, you'll see the blacked out roof rails right there, so if you guys want to throw some crossbars up there, if you guys need a roof box for extra storage or a ski rack, something like that, you can toss that right up top. Moving around to your back here, there's no button on the inside for the fuel door. You can just click it in like that and pull it out. And you will see that the Blazer does not require premium fuel. The 3.6 liter V6 will run on regular. Here we are at the backside of the Blazer Midnight Edition. Now you will see these really sharp looking taillights that are from the mid-cycle refresh. They got that new design within the housing, so those look really nice back here. And considering this is the Blazer Midnight Edition, we do have these black Chevy bow ties in the rear as well, just like we did up front. And then you do have the blacked out Blazer and all-wheel drive badging back here, just like we had on the door sides up front. And then coming down to the bottom, you do have these really nice looking dual exhausts, and they are a true dual exhaust. So that is nice to see that it's not a fake exhaust like some manufacturers out there do. And it is to note that the all-wheel drive with the V6 paired with the trailering equipment, all that put together give the Blazer a max towing capacity of 4,500 pounds, which is a really healthy number for an SUV of this size. All right guys, and here we are in the driver's seat of our Blazer Midnight Edition. Now this particular Blazer Midnight Edition is a 3LT, so that pretty much just means that you get leather throughout the whole interior and a couple other things that come standard obviously because you're stepping up so high up to that 3LT trim level. So not only do we have the blind zone alert on the mirrors, but we also do have those leather seats I just mentioned. And I will say, even though they are a really nice high-end looking leather seat, I think they're a little stiff. I wish they were just a little bit softer, maybe a little bit comfier, like the ones that I saw in the Lexus that I reviewed just a couple weeks back. Looking at the door panel here, you have your lock and unlock buttons. You have your mirror adjuster switch as well as all your window switches. And then down below that, you do have a little button that can allow you to open the trunk right from your driver's seat. So if you're pulling up for, say, a Target grocery pickup or a Goodwill donation thing, you don't want to get out of the car, you can open the trunk right from up here. And looking at the steering wheel, you will see we do have this nice leather wrapped steering wheel with that nice stitching on the inside of the wheel, so it gives it a really nice high-end look up here. And on the left side of the steering wheel, you'll see all your cruise controls over there, as well as your forward collision alert. You can adjust how sensitive you want the forward collision alert to respond. And then on your right side of the wheel, you will see a little dial that controls your driver information center that gives you all your info about the car. And you can scroll through and see music, your directions, your phone calls, and some general settings for the driver information center. And then you also have the buttons for the phone calls where you can pick up and hang up phone calls and activate your phone's voice functions. Checking out the center stack of the Blazer here, you will see it looks just like what we've seen in the 2019 and above Blazer, because this is not a full refresh, it's just the mid-cycle refresh. So you still do have those Camaro style air vents all over the dashboard, as well as your Camaro style screen right here, where you'll see your audio app on the top left, where you can get to your AM, your FM, your Sirius, and your Bluetooth. And moving over to your phone app, which is the second app in line, you got your recent calls, your favorites, your keypad, all that good stuff contained within the phone app. You have your Wi-Fi hotspot, which if you want to pay OnStar, I don't know how many dollars per month, you can turn that on to be able to have Wi-Fi in your car. And then you have the settings down on the bottom left, where you can adjust all of the vehicle settings, as well as the settings for, how long the lights stay on after you get out of the car, things like that. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, those will launch once you plug your phone in, so you do have those there as well. And then if we go to the second page of apps here, you will see there is a camera app. Now, since this does have the trailering package and it's the V6 model, you might be towing with it. You do have a little line there to get yourself lined up with the ball if you're backing up to a trailer. And climate controls, just like they've always been, are right below the screen here. You do have your air vents, and around your air vents is the little dial that you will use to adjust your temperature, just like that. It is a dual zone climate in this particular Blazer. And then all your adjustments in the middle as to where you want the air to go, and then your fan speed button right in the middle. And you do have a USB Type A and a USB Type C right below that. And then right below those chargers, you do have a nice little tunnel down here to toss your phone into, so that's very nice. You will find your Camaro style shifter right in the middle here, and below that you will see your little dial to pick whether you want two-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, race mode, or off-road mode, or tow haul mode on. You have all that right down there, and a little illumination light will come on to let you know that all-wheel drive has been activated. And as for your auto stop start, the button to turn that off is right below your engine stop start button. And as for storage in the front seat of the Blazer here, you will see your center console. If I open that up, you will see there is a pretty fair amount of storage in here. I'm not quite able to get my whole forearm in there, but if I take my 26-ounce Yeti tumbler here, it doesn't quite close it up. It just kind of hits right there. So it's a fairly big cubby for this size vehicle. And there is a 12-volt plug right up front right here, with some little tunnels in the front to run some charge cables out. All right, guys, and a quick overview at the roof here. You will see we do have a sunglass holder. We got that right there. And then there is also a home link button up here. So if you have any garage doors you have to link, your little button up here to turn all the lights in the car on should you drop anything at night. You have all your OnStar buttons right there. And if I open my sun visor, you will see that there are some very nifty lights in here. They will sort of like slowly come on. You'll see it right here. I'll flip it open and they go like that. Okay, guys, here we are in the back seat of the Blazer. Now, I will say that the back seat of the Blazer for a vehicle, an SUV of this size, I really would expect a bigger back seat back here. I did have to move my front chair forward in order for my knees not to be hitting. So where I was just sitting, I had to move that chair forward in order to be able to have this much space. And the back seat here, it does slide back and forth like this, but I'm already at the furthest back position. But this feature is really nifty because if I need to put more stuff in the trunk, but I still need to haul some people around, I can move this seat forward like this, still get some people to their destination while carrying more cargo in the trunk. All right, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the Blazer here. We're just gonna take off here and get her up to speed. And pickup is really good in the V6. We just got up to speed in no time, and It does have a 6.2 second 0 to 60 in here, so for a vehicle of this size, which I'm assuming this thing weighs over 4,000 pounds, that is a really, really good 0 to 60 time, and it is plenty quick. Now, I will say I do miss the 2.5 liter four-cylinder that they offered in the last generation of the Blazer. I thought it made the Blazer feel sort of car-like and a little bit lighter on its feet, so I do miss the 2.5 liter, and I still have yet to drive that 2 liter turbo that they offer in this mid-cycle refresh. But what I will say is the chassis in here is good. The bumps aren't too jarring. They're not too offensive when you run over like the potholes and the sewer grates, things like that. So I do like the chassis on this. It's pretty smooth. You don't really feel too many of the bumps. And the seat in here, like I said earlier, this leather is a little stiff. I wish it was a little bit more forgiving. It's not really an overly comfy seat, but it is tolerable. I'm not necessarily in pain, so it is a halfway decent seat in here. And the steering is pretty direct, whereas I would expect a numb steering feel in an SUV like this, where maybe it's not the driver's machine. It does have pretty good steering feel and steering communication. It feels pretty direct, and I know what I'm doing when I'm turning the wheel. All right, guys, that wraps it up for my review of the 2024 Chevy Blazer Midnight Edition. I wanted to do a quick shout out to the folks over at Bob Johnson Chevrolet for letting me use this vehicle to review for you guys, so thank you very much for that. I'll have all their info in the description down below. And if you guys do enjoy videos like this, subscribe to the channel now and leave a like on the video, because I'll be putting out reviews like this almost every week. And comment down below, what do you think of the Blazer Midnight Edition? Do you think it's worth it, or would you just opt for a traditional Blazer? That wraps up today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one.